Welcome to Timeless Chronicles, where we unravel the mysteries of history's most enigmatic figures. Today, we dive into the extraordinary life of Akhenaten, the revolutionary pharaoh who dared to challenge millennia of Egyptian tradition and forever changed the course of religious history. Imagine a world where the sun isn't just a celestial body, but the one true God. Picture a pharaoh so devoted to this idea that he builds an entire city to honor it, changes his name, and risks everything to reshape his kingdom's beliefs. This isn't the plot of a fantasy novel. It's the true story of Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Did you know that Akhenaten's religious revolution predates the rise of major monotheistic religions by nearly a millennium? Or that his reign saw the creation of some of the most striking and unusual art in Egyptian history? From the famous bust of his wife Nefertiti to the androgynous depictions of the royal family, Akhenaten's era broke all the rules of traditional Egyptian aesthetics. But here's a twist. Despite his efforts to erase Egypt's pantheon of gods, Akhenaten's own legacy was nearly erased from history. His successors were so determined to wipe out his memory that for centuries, he was nothing more than a whisper in the sands of time. It wasn't until the late 19th century that archaeologists began to piece together the puzzle of this enigmatic pharaoh. As we embark on this journey through time, we'll explore the motivations behind Akhenaten's radical reforms. Was he a visionary prophet? A power-hungry tyrant? Or perhaps a man suffering from a debilitating illness that altered his worldview? We'll delve into the theories, examine the evidence, and let you decide. Join us as we peel back the layers of myth and mystery surrounding Akhenaten. From his early years as a second-born prince to his dramatic ascension and revolutionary reign, we'll uncover the story of a man who dared to challenge the gods themselves. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about ancient Egypt and the origins of monotheism. This is Timeless Chronicles, and the sun is about to rise on one of history's most fascinating tales. Akhenaten's reign began conventionally around 1351 BC, initially ruling as Amenhotep IV. The first 5 years of his reign, known as the Karnak years, saw him continuing traditional practices, worshipping multiple Egyptian gods, and completing building projects initiated by his father, Amenhotep III. However, in 1346 BC, Akhenaten took a dramatic turn that would define his legacy. He introduced the worship of Aten, the sun disk, as the state religion. This shift wasn't just a theological change. It was a complete overhaul of Egyptian society. Akhenaten changed his name from Amenhotep IV, meaning Amen is satisfied, to Akhenaten, effective for Aten. This name change signaled his devotion to the new god and his break from traditional Egyptian polytheism. The new religion centered on Aten was unique in several ways. Unlike traditional Egyptian gods, Aten was depicted not as a human or animal figure, but as a solar disk with rays ending in hands. This abstract representation was a radical departure from Egypt's anthropomorphic deities. Akhenaten positioned himself as the sole intermediary between Aten and the people, effectively centralizing religious and political power. To solidify his religious revolution, Akhenaten undertook an ambitious building project. In 1346 BC, he began constructing a new capital city, Akhetaten, modern-day Amarna, dedicated to the worship of Aten. This city, built on virgin land, was designed to be the perfect stage for the new religion. It featured open-air temples that allowed direct sunlight, symbolizing Aten's presence, to reach worshippers. The art style that emerged during Akhenaten's reign, known as the Amarna style, was as revolutionary as his religious reforms. It departed drastically from the idealized, rigid forms of traditional Egyptian art. Figures were depicted with elongated heads, full lips, and androgynous bodies. The royal family was often shown in intimate, informal scenes, a stark contrast to the aloof portrayals of previous pharaohs. Akhenaten's religious reforms had far-reaching consequences. He attempted to suppress the worship of other gods, particularly Amun, whose name he ordered to be chiseled out from monuments. This action alienated the powerful priesthood and likely created resentment among the general population, accustomed to their traditional gods. Despite the domestic upheaval, Akhenaten maintained Egypt's international standing. The Amarna letters, a cache of diplomatic correspondence discovered in 1887, reveal that Egypt remained a major power in the Near East during his reign. However, some letters suggest that vassal states in Syria-Palestine felt neglected as Akhenaten focused on his domestic agenda. Akhenaten's personal life was as unconventional as his reign. His chief wife, Nefertiti, played an unusually prominent role, often depicted as equal in stature to the pharaoh. Some scholars even suggest she may have ruled as co-regent. Akhenaten also had several daughters who featured prominently in royal iconography, breaking with the tradition of focusing solely on male heirs. The latter years of Akhenaten's reign were marked by challenges. A plague swept through Egypt, possibly claiming the lives of several royal family members. There's evidence that the religious reforms may have been relaxed somewhat in response to growing unrest. Akhenaten's death around 1336 BC marked the beginning of the end for his religious revolution. His immediate successors, including the famous Tutankhamun, likely his son, gradually restored the traditional pantheon. More dramatically, they initiated a systematic erasure of Akhenaten's memory. His monuments were dismantled, his name was struck from king lists, and Akhetaten was abandoned. This attempt at Damnatio Memoriae, condemnation of memory, was so thorough that Akhenaten was virtually unknown to history until the late 19th century. The rediscovery of Amarna and subsequent excavations have since pieced together the story of this enigmatic pharaoh. The debate over Akhenaten's motivations continues to this day. Some see him as a visionary monotheist, a precursor to later Abrahamic religions. Others view him as a shrewd political operator who used religion to centralize power. Still others suggest his actions may have been influenced by illness, pointing to his unusual depictions as evidence of a genetic disorder. Regardless of his motivations, Akhenaten's reign represents a unique moment in ancient history. He challenged deeply ingrained religious and artistic traditions, reshaping Egyptian society in ways that would have been unthinkable to his predecessors. While his reforms didn't outlast him, they demonstrate the potential for radical change, even in highly traditional societies. Akhenaten's legacy extends beyond ancient Egypt. His experiment with something approaching monotheism, while not directly influencing later monotheistic religions, shows that the concept had emerged independently before. His reign serves as a fascinating case study in the relationship between religion and power, the capacity for cultural change, and the lengths to which societies will go to either embrace or reject radical new ideas. In the end, Akhenaten remains an enigma, a revolutionary who tried to reshape one of the ancient world's most enduring civilizations, only to have his life's work undone almost immediately after his death. Yet, in failing, he provided us with one of history's most fascinating stories and a unique window into the religious and political dynamics of the ancient world. As we conclude our journey through the life and times of Akhenaten, we're left with more questions than answers. This enigmatic pharaoh, who dared to challenge millennia of tradition, continues to fascinate historians and enthusiasts alike. His brief but dramatic reign serves as a powerful reminder of the potential for radical change, even in the most established societies. Akhenaten's story is not just a tale of ancient Egypt, but a mirror reflecting our own struggles with tradition, innovation, and the search for meaning. It prompts us to consider the nature of belief, the limits of power, and the consequences of challenging the status quo. In many ways, Akhenaten was a man out of time, a revolutionary thinker born millennia before the world was ready for his ideas. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Akhenaten's legacy is its resilience. Despite the best efforts of his successors to erase him from history, his story has endured. It reminds us that ideas, once unleashed, can never truly be contained. The echoes of Akhenaten's heresy can be heard in the monotheistic religions that would emerge centuries later, in the art that broke free from rigid traditions, and in every leader who has dared to imagine a different way of doing things. As we reflect on Akhenaten's reign, we're invited to consider our own beliefs and traditions. What aspects of our society do we take for granted? What radical ideas of today might become the norm of tomorrow? And how do we balance the need for stability with the inevitability of change? The story of Akhenaten is far from over. New archaeological discoveries and evolving interpretations continue to shed light on this fascinating period of history. Who knows what secrets still lie buried beneath the sands of Amarna, or what new understanding we might gain from re-examining the evidence we already have. This is where you, our valued viewers, come in. Your curiosity, your questions, and your engagement drive us to delve deeper into these historical mysteries. Every comment you leave, every theory you propose, contributes to our collective understanding of the past. If you've enjoyed this exploration of Akhenaten's life and legacy, we invite you to join our community of history enthusiasts. By subscribing to our YouTube channel, you'll ensure you never miss an episode of Timeless Chronicles. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on our latest uploads. But don't stop there. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone you know who's fascinated by history's mysteries. Spread the word about Akhenaten and spark conversations about this intriguing figure from the past. Your support goes beyond just watching. Consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page, where you can access exclusive content and behind-the-scenes looks at how we bring these historical narratives to life. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps us continue our mission of bringing history's most fascinating stories to light. Remember, history is not just about the past. It's about understanding our present and shaping our future. By exploring figures like Akhenaten, we gain insights into the human experience that transcend time and culture. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. From all of us at Timeless Chronicles, we look forward to seeing you in our next historical adventure. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep the flame of curiosity burning bright. The past has much to teach us, and together, we'll uncover its secrets, one story at a time.